Hi. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are watching me from. Apology for a little bit of delay to the broadcast, and we are pleased that we are now going to be live, or we're already live, basically. Yeah, we had a bit of delay to the broadcast, so now we are live. We are live to speak and have an extensive discussions with my nominees for the 2022 Global Authors Club and Business Award UK. So today I have quite a lot of people who are going to be online, and they're going to be sharing their stories with you. And I want you to come with me as I bring them into the broadcast one after the other. Just to let you know that on the 16th of December 2022, the Global Authors Award will be live at the Double Tree or Hilton Hotel in London here, UK. So we're gonna be celebrating these great people's achievement and success. So you welcome with me my guest today. So I have Dr. Daniel Moses, a property developer in the UK. I have Annette, uh, uh, who has been awesome, and has extensive knowledge and experience, and she has done so well for herself. And now we have amazing Annette in the house on the broadcast to share extensive experience. And also Dr. Daniel Moses in the house tonight to share their experience with the audience about their incredible journey to greatness. Listen, if you are watching tonight or this evening or to now, this morning, wherever you are watching from, you need to have a pen and paper to learn from these incredible people they've started from just they're ordinary people, but they have made extraordinary life out of themselves. So tonight we have an amazing people. So I want you to get your pen and paper. If you're watching me, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel so you can be informed of the next meeting. So get your pen and paper and learn from these business guru to know how they started their journey, the obstacles, and how they overcame those obstacles. So I'm going to actually begin with the next on my left side, and then Dr. Daniel Moses on the left side. So can I please ask you, Ms. Ennis, introduce yourself very quickly, please.
Yeah, my name is Annette Hodgkins. I I live here in Hertfordshire, England and Ghana. For about 4 companies. 2 are registered here in the UK.
Right. So Mr. Ennis, you have 4 companies, right? And they are based. Are they all based in the UK or are they based in Ghana?
2 are registered in the UK in Ghana.
Right. So 2 in the UK and the 2 in Ghana.
Yeah. The 2 in the UK, I do. I have got one almost 5 years now,
Right.
which is in care, supported living. I do a domiciliary residential care, and I do what that's one of them. Then I also have another company which is services, which
Right.
transports patients from the hospital to their homes to hospital.
Right.
Then in Ghana, I'm running a Heather Epilepsy Foundation,
Yes.
which formed after my daughter, my late daughter, who was she had started a blog. She wanted to start something on that. So I've got also, I'm doing precious minerals in Ghana. I'm doing mining and also exporting gold
Wow.
in
Wow.
Ghana.
We're gonna go into details of that. I'm so very blessed to have you two incredible, amazing people. You both you've got an extraordinary story and journey, and I'm gonna come to that in a minute. So you have 4 companies that you founded yourself, 2 in the UK and 2 in Ghana. Okay, now
Yeah.
I'm going to just ask you, before you, what prompted you to start this company, these companies?
What prompted me to, about I would say about 10 years ago, the church where I go, our pastor, he used to August, September, he runs, talks about finances, and he will start their own businesses, and
Right.
he's always hammering to the congregation be paid what you're worth when you're working for somebody. Then we also, who was there at that time from Ghana, so he some training for for people when they want to run their own businesses, encouraged us to go for that training, which I did. So
Right.
when I went for that training, we were given some storyboards where we to close your eyes, you pray, and you
Yeah.
write down exactly what any which is coming up. That's what you would put on the board, on that storyboard. And I remember very well, I houses and cars there, and that was it. He was asking me, what would you want to do? Then
Wow.
I said to him, to do care. But at that time, we were accounting for some chartered accounting firm in North Finchley.
Right.
I just said to him, this is what, when what came up. And it did come, it did. So, and here I am now. I've started this, so I'm into care, and I ended up even, leaving accounting with my
Job.
social work degree.
Right.
And I did mental health as well. And
Right.
I'm a practice teacher, best interest. That's all now under the health and social care.
Right.
And that's how I started, how I ended up, having this. So I would say, my, who is called the Tony Peters as well, he did that to start businesses, every since these sessions, where he's busy, we will never be paid what you're worth
Right.
unless
Right.
you work for. Then for Ghana, for the I visited Ghana.
Yes. Mr. We're gonna come to that. We're gonna come to that. Because now
Yeah.
the first thing you've said to me that's very inspiring, and I tell you what you've just said now, that was very inspiring. It's about now you have a degree in accounting, right? And and you were working at the time, but you felt
Yeah.
that what you were being paid did not reflect your value, right? But because and I'm going somewhere with it. Now because there are so many people, they are not happy where they are, but they are scared of the fear of what is going to happen. Now let's keep that for now because I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with that. So let me bring in Dr. Daniel, right? Because you have a similar story, and your story was. I'm listening to Dr. D, and he had an extraordinary story. And this is the point I'm trying to get across to our people, especially I mean maybe Africans, whether you're looking at me, watching from Africa, from US, from Canada, we need to change orientation, okay? Because the way we were constructed, we were trained in Africa is you get education, you work for a company, and that's it. We are not taught to think outside the box, right? Because all you do is you go to uni, you get a qualification, an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, and then you go to work. We're not trained to actually think outside the box. So let's keep that. Now, Dr. D, introduce yourself to our audience. You are not a stranger, but let's just hear from you before we go further.
Yeah, I thought I'd quickly draw something to your attention. I don't think you're currently streaming live. If you might want to ask your team to check.
Right.
Okay, because I just tried to see on your LinkedIn account to see if you're streaming live. It's not streaming, and as well as your Facebook page.
Right. Let me quickly check quickly with my team. Very quickly. Right. Okay. So let me.
You're not streaming live at all.
Well, okay. Let me ask them. Well, we should be streaming live. It shows live here. Let's see. It should be 1 minute. Let's go back to that page. Okay. Okay, no, that's just sorry. Just quickly try to check because we should be streaming live. So let's see where we are with this. Just 1 second. Okay. No, not this one. Just 1 second. Sorry.
And as well as your LinkedIn as well. So I just thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Right. Okay. We're actually live on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube. This is what happens. Just it has not been.
So you've not connected Facebook or LinkedIn to it, correct?
Yeah. Let me just copy it to my LinkedIn page. Because it's like we're actually live on YouTube now. So let me just copy that and stream that onto 1 second. Yep, so it's now live on my so it's live now on my LinkedIn. There we go. Fantastic. So yeah, so we're live now on the LinkedIn, on the YouTube. So we're actually live now. Just like it was not connected. So now, okay, so we're back. Are we okay to share it? Are we happy to say the information? Okay.
Okay, I think I don't know. I just if you're sure, then that's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure so you're not just having a chat.
Right. Okay. I've posted it again on the. Yeah, we are not. Yeah, we are definitely on YouTube, live on YouTube. Okay. So let me also post it on all our networks. 1 second. There we go. So yes, we are now on live. Yes, so we are now. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. So it's now been streamed on YouTube and it's streamed on my LinkedIn. But let's get the Facebook as well. 1 second, very quickly. There we go. 1 second. Okay. We're going to be like, okay, fantastic, brilliant, good. So we're now streaming on these on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also on Facebook. So you're live on those channels. Okay.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself, sir.
Oh, yes, Mr. Philip, thank you very much for having me on your journey to greatness talk show.
Yes.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here. My name is Dr. Daniel Moses. I am a property entrepreneur. I um, I run multiple um, enterprise within the property industry. We are into property management, property education, and as well as investments strategies, where we help people, get onto the property ladder, who are very busy, not able to do the work themselves. We basically help people just create wealth, when it comes to building a legacy for themselves, their future, and securing their family legacy. So yeah, I do a lot of things around, helping people get started in the property industry, and as well as helping people build property portfolios. Yes, I'm looking forward to today.
Fantastic, fantastic. Right. So we have two amazing business owner, property and healthcare, and then mining and gold business, which is huge, 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 huge. So now I've heard from Ms. Annette about just a brief introduction of what she does, and she has four businesses, two in the UK and two in Ghana. And you heard that she said that she went for a program, right? And I'm trying to bring us some key point here. So you went for a program in the church, and the pastor said about what do you want to do? Because what happens sometimes we play down the importance of church, of Christianity, that of what the benefit of going to church and what we learn from the church. We tend to kind of play it down. So you have gone to church, the pastor says something, and you follow that up, right? You follow up what the pastor said, because many people would go and all they're looking for is just a pastor prays for them and they say amen, and they wouldn't do anything about it. Okay, so which means a pastor can pray for you. If you don't do anything about it, in fact, you can attend the best training camp ever. So it's not the training you attend, it's what you do with it. Because I learned from Dr. Daniel a few weeks ago about when he attended some programs, some training. It's not really what you had, the program you attended is about what you do with the information that brings up. So Dr. D, tell us a bit about your journey, how you started the journey, your
I
property.
mean, for me personally, 2015, I had lost over 150,000 pounds in the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. I lost over 150,000 pounds. I was going through a lot of mental and physical challenges, having lost that business and having lost over 150,000 pounds. I decided to just stay back here in the UK and not basically going back to Nigeria, because at that point in my life, I just thought that the journey of being an entrepreneur has actually ended for me. I went into driving Uber, and I went into driving with Yodel and Amazon as a delivery driver as well. So I was doing, it first started as a delivery driving job, did that for a couple of months, and eventually transitioned into driving Uber. It's quite important. It's quite interesting that Annette, there's a massive God factor here.
Yeah.
And mine was a direct encounter with the Lord. I was driving, had done one of my last driving at the airport, dropping someone off at Stansted Airport. And I was on my way back, I was on my way back home, basically tired, and I'm just driving back all the way from Stansted Airport back to London, and I had fallen asleep on the wheel, and I was about to crash. And it was in that crash I heard a voice woke me up from that sleep, and I literally told me to have a nap. And I obviously had, taking control of my will and basically prevented myself from crashing. And I decided to stop by the next service station to sleep. And it was in that sleep that I had a revelation. Okay. And I remember the revelation was me looking into properties. I was just going into different houses, and I was, well, as you know, going through different property seminars and stuff like that. And I literally woke up from that sleep and, still feeling tired, but something basically just, I was meant to open my Uber app so I can probably redirect my drive to bringing me back all the way to London. But
Right.
instead of me doing that, I went into Facebook, and it was me opening up my Facebook app that I saw an advertisement, all right, inviting my Facebook page, promoting property investing. And the actual subject was getting into property with little or no money. That was the subject. And I click into register, and it was a £70 registration amount that was needed. And it was this last £70 that I had in my bank account, actually on my credit card. But I said this cannot be a coincidence. God cannot speak and then his words falls to the ground. I cannot just be in a dream and I was about to crash a couple of minutes ago, and this is happening so very, very quick. So I took a leap of faith, by the way, registered, paid £70 for that networking event. I went all the way to central London, attended the event. Everything that was being said made no sense. Typically because I was a normal, just African Nigerian boy or Nigerian man who basically, didn't know that these things happened. And whilst I was in that room, I was the only black man. Not only was I the only black man, everything that they were saying made no sense. But to Lord and behold, today, by the grace of God, I'm a millionaire in pounds, and not, and I've been able to impact the lives of so many other people. Today, build property portfolios, get them educated, and I'm now on a mission to raising over, at least, on our mission board statement is we're on a mission to creating 1 million, property, sorry, 1,000 property millionaires, within the next 5 years. So yes, that's just a little bit of the story on the background. So it's quite interesting how God just kind of, I think with what, just hearing that initial story being said right now, I'm so inspired that this is not, it's really actually the journey of to success and to greatness by extraordinary people. So I'm looking forward to this great conversation.
Right. Dr. Brian, thank you so much for that. And I'm so pleased. And this, I love to bring God into business, and because everything we have to bring God has a God factor in it. And when I hear people talking about God in business, is really, really a big subject for me. I love that to say, wow, because God did it, God did. Because in business world, we tend to kind of shy away from mentioning God, because they think that, if I mention God, now maybe people will not come to me again, or maybe I'll be crucified. No, as a pastor, and I said to people that, listen, if God gives the power to make wealth, that's God that we have. So I'm so pleased. So let me go back to Ms. Ennet about this journey. So when you started that journey, how was that journey for you? Because I want people to understand how the journey started. How you started. Do you have a lot of money when you started, or was it just a small money, or how does it sound? Was it just a step of faith? How did you start so that people can relate to that?
When I started with, I didn't have any money, and you'd find just a faith in God.
Right.
I remember very well. I went and told my children that I was resigning. I wanted to start, business for care, because it finds when people ask me whether a business person, I always say, no, I'm not a business person, but I'm a servant. God has chosen me to support his own children whom he created in his own. That's how I express myself. So I always say I'm a carer. I'm a servant of God, because that the Lord can use me to look after who doesn't have anybody to look after in this world. So I started with nothing. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any time. And but I had, with the vision which I had at that time, I just believed that me in everything which I was going to do. So when I started, but NHS, they gave me service users, which I've never ever had, which ever had something like that happening. They gave me 3 patients. They said they were going to pay me 3 months in advance.
Wow.
I've never had that. And that's how I started. No money, but the Lord gave me the money. Said they were going to refer people. 3 patients, 3 months in advance, which was, and that's how I started.
Right.
So when I hear you need money to start a business, and I always say, me, I didn't have any money with any penny, even in my account. I didn't have any savings at all, nothing. You know, the Lord just, you know, He led the way.
Wow.
So that's how I started. Yeah.
Well, because I love that story, Dr. Emi Senate. I love that story because many people, because what has held many people back is the fear of how do I start? What do I need? How do I even start? And because of that, I'm very, very pleased with what Dr. Daniel said about he had just £70, and he used that £70 to go for a training, because many people, what has kept people back from achieving their goals in life is because they're looking at I need A, B, C, and D, and that is why they are still at the same position. Like you said, you just had the vision, and Dr. D said he has £70. So it wasn't like a big, huge, because some people think they need big, huge of money to start because they're looking for offices, they're looking for all kind of things. So, and I'm going to come to Dr. B as well, because I want to change, we need to change people's orientation. Now, you don't even need to get a big office, you don't need to get big cars, you don't need to get these. You just have to start with what you have. You know, when I'm doing my training course, and this is what I say to people in my training, I said, start with what you have. If you don't start with what you have, it will never grow. And as you say, never forget the day of the little beginning, because there will always be a step. Someone has to stay a step. They used like Dr. Green said, he had just £70. And for many people, they're looking to pay that. They want to go for a program worth £5,000. Now, I'm going to come to you, Dr. D. So when you went for that training, Dr. D, okay, because I want to tie this two together, you had just £70 with you. Were you thinking that this £70 will make you millions, or do you just start? You just started, just as Ms. Ene said. Do you look at that £70 and think this cannot make me, or this cannot take me far? How does that? What prompted you to use that £70?
Well, number one was I've already been in business almost all my life.
Right.
For the fact that I became closer to God because I was going through a lot of battles at that time of my life.
Yes.
I was going through physical battles, spiritual battles, mental battles, you name it, depression, anxiety. I was going through so much at that time in my life. But the point was, if God can bring me this far,
yes,
and He's definitely going to take me from where I am to wherever I want to go. Now, the £70 was not even something to even think about, because I have always been in business. I've been taking risk. The £70 wasn't, the problem. The problem was what if I cannot buy my petrol the next day? So it wasn't the £70. This was the last money that was meant to use for my petrol the following day.
Wow.
Now, because if that was the money that was meant to be spent on the petrol for the following week, that would take me, because Uber pays us, on a Friday, and we're talking about on a Wednesday here. So there's 2 days in between for me to have enough money to buy petrol. So the mindset was, who can I call that would give me £70 whilst I pay this today, and tomorrow I would get the money back to just sort out myself. And that was the mindset as a business person. Now, the fact that normally, I have built connections of people around me, but at that time, £70, this was 2016 here. £70, yes, it's a lot of money, when you're driving by making 10 to 15 pound, per drop, or depending on the situation. So my mindset was very much different. But I said, well, if God just showed me it is a dream, and I'm looking at this on Facebook right now, so it's only one chance. Either I take the chance and let God do the rest, or believe in myself and continue to be where I want to be. So it was a matter of, can I trust God or can I trust myself? So I went with the spirit of God in me. So one of the things one of the things that has done to me till today is the spirit of discernment. Because a lot of people, God continues to answer our prayers every single day when we pray to God. But sometimes when the prayers start to manifest, our humanly and our earthly way of thinking comes in place, where we allow our flesh to make decision rather than the spirit making decision for us. So if God said it, God will make a way. That was the mindset. But it's not about God said it, God will make a way as well. It's always about me taking the action.
Action,
All
absolutely.
right. It was me identifying within my spirit that actually this was God speaking, and I needed to take the action. Regardless of the amount, I was going to do it anyway. And that was the mindset. So I used that £70, paid for it. And I think the evidences around over the last 5 years to 6 years can clearly show that it's gone beyond just £70 of a business. So I think when God speaks, God makes a way.
Wow. I love that. Listen, quite a lot of things I put down here when Dr. Daniel was talking about, when I was talking, and when Miss Innate was talking as well, is about taking that risk. Taking that risk. Let's just pause a little bit about taking the risk. And also, I like the fact that the God factor is well pronounced on this. So, what would you say? Would you say that many people are not making it because they are not taking the risk? For example, you had a £70. That means Alex, she didn't have even anything, but she took the risk of saying, you know what, I can do this job. And I'm trying to connect that, taking that risk. Because for many people, when you ask them, why are you not doing that business? Why are you not doing it? They say, oh, because I don't have anything. Now today we have somebody who had nothing and she took the risk. And we have someone who has £70 and took the risk of, should I spend this £70 and buy petrol, or should I spend this £70 in and invest in it? So I want you to just say, when it comes to taking the risk, how does taking the risk, how would you help people? Because so many people are they want to do something, but they don't just have that audacity that you had to do it. So what would be your, let me start with Miss Inette. What would be your message to people who are watching you, or those who are going to be watching you, about taking the risk?
About taking the risk, I believe, in Romans 8, it says, if the Lord is for us, who else is going to be against us?
Absolutely.
And it's more of us, when you have your visions, your dreams, it's you having that faith to say, because into Corinthians, it tells us that the Lord talks to us But when the Lord talks to each and one of us, we should listen and do what we are told, what the Lord is saying to us. If we don't do it, then are we going to know that, what we are being told is going, how is it going to manifest? So we have to do it, because then there's no point. So as Christians, we should have that faith to say, this is like what he was saying, to say, having the spirit of, we always pray for, spirit of discernment, to know which is this the Lord who is talking to me? Who is talking to me? So it's more of us having faith as well, and having this spirit of discernment in us. When we have that, then we have to act upon it. Because we are now told, because we can only challenge everything, the word, to say, Lord, this is what you said to me, and this is live in you. You said I should have faith in you. You've given me a vision, and I'm going to go by that. I'm going to lead the path. I'm not going to stand by my own understanding.
Yeah.
Upon the word. If we don't act upon the word, then there's no way we will, to have the courage.
Wow.
To start and continue thinking, oh, I don't have anything. But all what we know, because everything belongs to him anyway.
Absolutely.
So we are now saying, you, Lord, you are leading the path. This is what you do. This is what you want me to do, and I'm going to do it. Because the Bible tells us, even them, Abraham, they left wherever they were living. They were told to go somewhere, but it still happened because they had faith. So that's the faith which we hold on to. Because of that faith, we are holding on that faith, and that's exactly what we go by.
Wow. I love that. It takes faith to take that risk. Just before we came on here, I was listening to Archbishop Nicola Duncan Williams, and that was exactly what he was talking about faith. So people have faith, but faith in stages. Some have little faith, some have big faith. So we all have faith, but in different levels. So it takes faith to take that risk. It takes that faith to take the risk. So let me go to Dr. D, right? When you were acting, when you were spending that 70 pounds, how did that feel to you? Were you actually thinking, what about if it didn't work? Because I know many people, before they start anything, they're already negative about it. They're already negative that, okay, they will say, do you know what they are negative about people is that that's why it's good to find the right people, to surround yourself with the right people. There are people that when you share your vision with them, the negativity that will come out of that, in fact, by the time you listen to them, all the faith, all the energy, all the vision is gone. So Dr. D, let me ask you, when you were thinking of spending that 70 pounds, what were the thoughts coming through you? Be honest, what were the thoughts coming through you?
Like I said, for a man who just came out from losing 150,000 pounds,
yes,
compared to 70 pounds, I think you will kind of understand where my mind is at.
Yes.
Right. So the first thing first wasn't I was going to lose the money or wherever the worst was going to be. The only point was, can I buy petrol tomorrow?
Wow.
Right? That was the only thought. Can I buy petrol tomorrow? But then again, the second thought was, who can give me 70 pounds to buy petrol if I spend the 70 pounds? That was my mindset.
Right.
But then finally, you know, the fact that I just had a dream and this is in my face,
Yes.
it can only be God and not man. That was the conclusion.
Wow.
You know, number one, for a man who just lost over 150,000 pounds. Number two, all right, was you know, 70 pounds to 150,000 pounds, and then
Yeah.
conclusion is this can only be God. And
Right.
and when God speaks, it doesn't miss his words. And that's just how I kind of looked at it. And I went and I did what I had to do. And funny enough, after paying for it, I made a phone call to someone, and then the next day the 70 pounds was available for me to fill my tank.
Wow.
So, you know, for me, I think when people, whether God speaks to you or whether God doesn't speak to you, let's break this down to a layman understanding. A
Yeah.
layman understanding will think, okay, you know, I don't have the money. There is no point because this is not for me. A layman understanding will say, okay, this is the last 70 pounds I have. I've got needs tomorrow.
Yes.
But one of the things I learned through this journey, and one thing that I've learned through my entire journey, to going from literally being a taxi driver to building a multi-million pound business here in the United Kingdom, is that time will never be perfect in anything that you want to do in life. Time will never be perfect.
Wow.
All right, whatever will go wrong, and whatever will go right, will go right. Murphy's Law clearly states that.
Yeah.
Okay, now entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Entrepreneurship is for people who understands that whatever will go wrong, and whatever will go right. As long as you have that at the back of your mind, this is the layman's term now. Let's park revolutions and God for a second and just speak to someone who never been to church. Because to someone who never been to church, this is almost like impossible to them. But so let's not go the other way as well. So my point is that at the end of the day, is that we are, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you've got to understand that at every given point in time, you need to make a move. Entrepreneurs are creators. You know, entrepreneurs are people who think outside of the box and create. And that is what, you know, makes you a business person. So, but when you now have God inside of it, then we're talking about a whole different sort of level.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
I built my very first £2 to £3 million property portfolio in the middle of the pandemic. I did not have £100,000 when I started to build. You know, today I run one of the fastest growing Black wealth community in the UK. When I started this journey, I did not have £100,000 in my bank account. But one of the things that I realized, first, God spoke, it became. Now, let's go back to the normal mindset. It means I had to go to work. I had to do whatever it takes to create. So I think for anyone who is listening right now, you know, if you want to come from God and you want to come from you being you, the fact is that, you know, it pains me sometimes in God's kingdom when we see a lot of children of God that God has actually blessed, because God spoke from the get-go. He says he's giving us dominion over everything. But it did not say that the dominion was going to just be handed. It means that we needed to move. We needed to take action. We needed to work. Does that make sense? You know, you can't stay inside your room and pray and pray and pray and expecting that your door's gonna all of a sudden something's gonna happen. You gotta work, you know, and that's just how that's my mindset, by the way.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. I love the practicality, and I'm going to bring Charity in. She's another amazing business owner in the UK. And number one thing that I've enjoyed in this journey is about the first things for me. The first things for me is the God factor. And when I see the people of God doing excellent, the eyes have not seen, the ears have not heard what God has in stock. So, and if we are the light of the world, we must shine. Okay.
Mhm.
When I just hear people who don't take action, and I've said this time and time, even when I speak in church, if we don't take action, if we don't take the risk, nothing. Now, two things for as we said, the layman terms and the Christian term. We talk about faith. The layman talk about action. So because the layman doesn't know anything about faith, the layman is talking about action. So if you are a Christian in business, you've got to let your faith align with the action. Because the Bible says faith without works. If you don't take action, the faith won't work. So taking the risk require faith. So, and we've seen that. So we have two incredible people who actually took that risk. They took that step. Now, let me go to my Charity. Charity, if you could introduce yourself, thank you for coming again to the broadcast. I know you've been here before, and I'm so pleased to see you again. So just give those who are going to be watching again tonight a bit information about yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach Philip. My name is Charity. Nice to meet you again, Dr. D.
Yes.
And hi, Annette. Yeah, so my name is
Hi.
Charity. I'm a mom of two. I originally from Nigeria. Been in the UK for years and years. I'm also a certified health and a life coach. I don't know what else to say. I'm a mom. That what else you want me to say?
we, we,
Yeah.
we, we're gonna come to your business now. Tell about your business because I know you have a lot to say about that. Okay, just give us a glimpse of what you do, your business, things like that.
Okay. I think listening to what Dr. Daniel was saying, and when he was talking about he had to use his last 70 pounds
Yeah.
to get on that business, I literally had nothing. I had nothing when I started the business. I was in debt of well over 4,000 pounds hanging on me. I was a full-time mom. I was out of work for 6 years and I needed to get back in after taking care of my two daughters and getting them into school. And I needed to do something for myself. So I wasn't searching for. So I don't know if anyone here, when you say you were not searching for something, I just wanted to get a job. I don't have any business background. I'm good I've come from an IT background, so I don't have any idea, knowledge as regards to business, anything that has to do with business. I always tell people, you know what? Just count me out of it. I'm an introvert. I can't see myself, in it. But, like they say, desperate times calls for desperate measures. And
Absolutely.
when Dr. Daniel was talking about you having that spirit of discernment and having to hear God and having that God factor, it's for me, it was the fact that I would say I heard that angelic voice, or I heard that godly voice speak to me that morning when I was like literally dropped off my kids from school. I was overweight and I was literally I wouldn't say I was as much depressed, but I was kind of, you know at that rock bottom of my life where I needed something. I didn't care what it was. Even if it was me just going out there, getting a job that would pay me 50 pounds, I was willing to do it. Because you know what? I have got this debt that I need to clear that I didn't even tell my husband about the debt. I was literally, when you have got nothing coming in and you're spending, and there's nothing coming in, and with the credit card, when the interest when the interest mounts up, even if you spent 10 pounds, by the time you're not paying back the next few months,
Yeah.
you get lots of interest mounting up. So for me, that was the case. So
Yeah.
when I heard that amazing angelic godly voice speak to me and say, you know what, this person that you've just bought the product from, because I wanted to lose weight, she's just made some money off you. Don't you think you could be doing the same? So for me, that instant obedience, that prompt obedience to that voice, was what I listened to. I remember, if I had sat down to think about, how do I market this product? Who am I going to be speaking to? Or how do I, whatever that I needed to do for me to be able to grow in the business, if I had sat down to start thinking about it, I wouldn't be here today, So I just got into it, said to her, what do I need to get into this business? She said to me, you just need 50 pounds. And I'm like, 50 pounds? Yeah, 50 pounds today, I can afford it. I can afford to spend it as much as I want. But as at that time, that 50 pounds was a huge amount of money for me. So I sat and I said to myself, I've got a debt of 4,000 pounds on this credit card. If I add another extra 50 pounds on top of it, it's not going to make any much difference, is it? So I just got on the business, registered, and this is me 7 years down the line.
Wow.
And it comes down to the fact that, in as much as we want to say that God is involved,
Yes.
like Dr. Daniel said, we also have action to take.
Absolutely.
We cannot fold our hands and say, because you heard that voice and then you decide to do nothing. So in the last 7 years, by the grace of God, I have been able to build a global business in over 26 different countries. In Europe, I've got a massive team of over thousands, of women, men in it. And also, before that, from this business, I've also been able to venture into something that I would never have imagined, that I would become, which is, for me, becoming a certified health and a life coach. I would never have imagined it, but because I took that step, I took that action, it brought out a better version of, or the best version of myself, seeing myself from being an introvert to someone that it would take you to say, you know what, that's enough. You need to stop talking now. You just need to. So that's how my life has actually transformed. So yeah, that's me.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. That's incredible. I love that. I love that. It just amazing to see ordinary people making extraordinary story out of themselves. I want us to talk about mindset, because I think a lot of people have a different mindset. That, oh, it can't be possible. It's not possible. I need big money. I mean, I've heard from Miss Annette now. When she started, she didn't have any money. She didn't even have any experience from an accountant, from being accounted from an accountant to health. And Dr. Daniel with 70 pounds, and you yourself from the IT background. Now, how can we change, or how can people change their mindset? For example, if I approach people about, can you do property? Can you do this? They say, oh, I don't have the skill, I don't have the experience. And they are soaked in that mindset. I'm going to start with Ms. Annette, and I go to Dr. Daniel, and I come to Charity. How can people change their mindset?
Um, in order for you to mindset, I think at times, we are very important in life as well. If you sit with people who are not ambitious, you stay there. And yourself with people who are ambitious, you'd find you rub it in as well.
Yes.
And that's well, because sometimes we are not saying you should not maybe people around you whom you don't anything from them, because they also want to take something from you. But at times it's a good also try and try to go, to tap from people who are above you. Do that,
Yes.
you will not learn anything, because all what you do is you just get, you just say, oh, you're doing very well, oh, you're doing very well, but you don't get anything. You're not learning anything. But if you now, you know, when you start, you know, if I start now surrounding myself with the Dr. Moses and you know, I'm going to tap something out of them. I'm going
Absolutely.
to tap, oh, charity is 1,000 people global in other countries. So how did, but if I'm going to just have, you know, my old people who my head, who are just there, who just say, oh yeah, oh you're doing well, I don't get. So I think that's one thing. Although, you know, sometimes in a wrong way when you say that, because you know, sometimes people those, oh, she doesn't want to mix with the people who are below age. That that's not, you still have them, you love them, but at the same time, it's a good thing for you now to, you know, move out of your comfort zone and try and meet other, because that's how you grow. Otherwise, you won't. Who are they, you know, because it's not difficult. It's so difficult. They all know. You can only know of the other good path, because if you are not going to get lost, that's all. That other streets, it can all. It's actually a good street. It doesn't have poorly use that one when you're in Africa. But now it's of the new of other good, you know, path when you get lost. So it's more of you just, you know, you have to try and do it. Have faith and say, I'm the courage, and to say, I'm going to do it, and you do it.
Wow.
You fall forward, don't fall backwards. You fall forward and you rise up again.
Wow. Thank you, Ms. Ellis, for that. I learned so much from what you've just said about faith and courage, and then the circle, because I like to see that. I like to see people kind of evaluating your cycle, your network. They say, what are they contributing to you, and what are they contributing to you, to them, and what are you learning? Because it is the people around you in one way or the other will influence your thinking in one way or the other. They will definitely, if you mingle with people who think, oh, it's not possible, and well, it's not possible, because that's what they all think. But when you move with people that think, well, it's possible, and that's why I always like to surround myself with people that are doing well, people who are kind of ahead of me, people who are doing so well. So you can see that if this one can do it, then I can do it too. For most people, they have that mindset that things are not possible. It's not possible because ABC is not available, or because they are not from this color. They're not from this color. So it is important to change, to have courage, and also our cycle as well. So Dr. Moses, in terms of changing mindset, what would you think that people need to change the mindset? We can't hear you. The volume. I mean the
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so I think the first thing first, I want to first of all agree with Annette what she said. It's all about the mindset. It's all about, the very first 4 or 5 people you spend your time with the most.
Yeah.
Now, especially I'm gonna talk towards Black people, and you see, one of the most common thing around us Black people is that when it comes to self and personal development, we often never look at this area because we always claim that we know everything. So when it comes to business, when it comes to creativity, when it comes to success, we always assume that we know it all. And the other biggest problem we also have is that we start to associate ourselves with people who are just like us. So, for example, you would find individuals that would never, ever, ever have a friend. So, imagine you sell something in the next corner shop, and all your friends in that corner shop are doing the same, and no one is looking to scale their business. So you find people making friends with those people who are not looking to scale their business. Or for someone who is in a cleaning job, they have that circle of people who are just doing cleaning and never wanting to scale that community. And as well as you see, sometimes people know that they are gossipers and they find themselves just to be in the company of co-gossipers just like them. And they continue to fabricate things and so on and so forth. So this is one of the things that's holding us back as Black people, as Africans specifically, because we often think that a Messiah is going to come to bring us out of that network. And we have this sort of mindset of entitlement that if the next person is actually successful, it is your duty to come and pull us out of that community that we found ourselves. So it's like a self-enslavement that has that we have continually to enslave ourselves. For me, one of the things that enabled me to change my mindset was discovering the act of paying to play. So paying to get the sort of knowledge I was looking for. Now, I love God. I'm a strong believer in church. Now, most pastors are there to support you spiritually, not business-wise. Now, let's speak to those who are Christian. If a pastor prays for me to be successful, I'm also depending on the pastor to tell me how to navigate my way down to the success I'm looking to create, which is utterly wrong. When a pastor prays for me spiritually, it is for me to get into a business community, a business network, to ask how business is being done, that God's glory can be manifested in the business community, right? But the problem that we continue to encounter is that you see us never moving. We don't move. We're just always very comfortable. You know, we're just saying we believe in God, we believe in God, we believe in God, but not feeding our mindset. It's just like calling yourself a Christian and never going to church. So if you start to really backtrack and break down all these different core principles around mindset and recreation of your personality or who you become, you find out that people are utterly never ever serious about recreating themselves. So let's break this down to an iPhone. iPhone continue to send you a data upgrade on your phone every now and then. But most times, us as human beings, we never do a human reset. We never reset us to go out of what we're used to into testing something else, you know? And finally, my final example is you will find 99.9% of us who have migrated to this country to, you know, to in search of greener pasture. Most of us we eat is just Chinese, you know, food, fried rice, egg fried rice, and all of this. But we'll test any kind of meal, right? Until we start to change and to continue to test new things, we will never really discover what greatness God has truly prepared for us. So I'll give an example for myself. The people who I thought would help me to become the greatest version of myself never actually did nothing for me. But the people that has helped me to kind of scale my business, to grow who I became, are people who I connected with that are of, you know, of the same sort of level of mindset of growth and daring to do new things every now and then. So it is 90% mindset that actually allows you to transition who you are to actually discovering the greatest version of yourself.
Wow, wow, I love that. You know, thank you, Dr. D, for that. You know what? One of my coaching program starting in January is about mindset, especially in the African setting, because we have this mindset that this is how things should be. I remember about 7 years ago when we started at church. And because people were not used to seeing young people, young person becoming a pastor and leading them, there was a lot of problems because they come to the church thinking, who's the pastor? Oh, he's the pastor. Because we have that mindset that he has to be one old man with and all that. And then when you introduce things, they think that, oh, but I remember someone was actually asking, this is how after the DO used to do it. And I think, listen, at the time, I was in my early 40, and then you compare a 30-something-year-old man to a man who's in 80. We just have this, I think the African thing, we have this mindset. We always eat this particular food. This is what we used to do. We used to go to church to pray. We never take action. We never change our mindset. We never see possibility. We always, and the thing about the black, I said black people because we're black people. You know, in this country, you can always read any information. But our black people, we always like to speak to auntie, uncle, friend, instead of go and search for the information when it's actually there. You're actually there. And I think it's a big thing that we need to change in the African community. Changing mindset about the way we view ourselves, mindset about what we can do. We have a mindset that you come to this country on a student visa and you stay there for 10 years, then you change and you work. You work, 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 work. When it comes to business, we never thought about business, but we think it's not for us. when I started the networking a few years ago, many people think that the networking is only for some people. They never believe that a black man can do a networking. They think, oh, networking, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I think it's a big thing, and I'm happy that we begin to bring bring us together to actually talk about these certain things. That listen, we need to change our mindset because people think when it comes to church, they think it is part of duty to preach to you and also to help you to find jobs or to help you to do stuff. Now, things that work in Africa, like in Africa, we pray, we don't take action. we love to pray, but we never take any action. But if we don't take action, nothing is going to work. Even the prayer won't work. Thank you for that discussion, Daniel. Now, let me go to Charles now. So tell us a bit more about you've changed your mindset. How would you help people to change their own mindset? Especially people who just go to work, just go to work, come back. They're not interested in business. How would you do that?
I think when it comes to mindset, mindset, you would be looking at two categories of different kind of people.
Right.
Now, and those two categories of people that you're going to be looking at are one, the person that has a fixed mindset. Yeah.
Right.
Someone that when you're talking about someone that has a fixed mindset, this is someone whose mindset, regardless of whatever you're saying to that person, regardless of how that person is not seeing that potential, they're not seeing the avenue, they are not even thinking or imagining that, you know what, this is something that I can look into and actually learn and grow and develop in. Then you're looking at someone that has a growth mindset. Right. Now, with someone that has a growth mindset, you're looking at the person that really, really wants to, regardless of all the shortcomings, regardless of, they know that they can actually find a way to actually learn and at the same time, develop themselves to reaching that high levels of ability and success. Yeah, so that's so with that person now, a fixed mindset, someone who has their brain is more active when you kind of like feed them with that information. They prefer, just like what you're saying, you can imagine someone, all you want is get that information from an aunt, get the information from an uncle, from a friend, from someone. They're not willing to, to find a way that they themselves can actually get that information for themselves and improve. So with we, person with that fixed mindset can easily be discouraged with setbacks. Once they have that setbacks, they're faced with that setbacks, they're easily discouraged. But if we have that growth mindset, okay, have I failed? Are there times that I have actually failed in this business in the last 7 years? Of course. But what did I do with it? For every setback that I've actually experienced in my business, I see it as a learning process. Yeah, I see it as a learning process. But someone who has got a fixed mindset easily gets discouraged by whatever setbacks that they experience in their life. So mindset, I would say, plays a major role when it comes to we as individuals, especially in our Black community, where we tend to like believe that, oh, this is not for me. I can't achieve this. This is well beyond me. Oh, no, don't take me there. I'm just programmed and structured to do that 9 to 5 job, or do that shift work. My brain cannot take anything else. So that's a person with a fixed mindset. We tend to have it so much. I've met people that I have spoken to in the last 7 years that I've been in this business. And each time you try to speak to them, they turn around and say to you, you know what, Charity, I can't be like you. I can't speak the way you speak. I can't do the things you do. And I would turn around and say to them, I wasn't like this. I had to learn. So life is a learning process.
Absolutely.
Every stage that we go through in life, we learn. We learn to develop ourselves. We have just like what you said, the internet is there. My best friend is Google. Whatever I'm looking for. When I started this business, like I said, I had no idea, no knowledge as regards to what it is, the business was involved, how to go about talking to people, and even for me to be able to develop myself. Because if I have to speak to you, I should be able to develop myself to the point where I am confident enough, to speak to you about what I'm presenting to you. So if I've not been able to build myself, I wouldn't be able to speak to you.
Right.
So in everything that we do, whether you're in the business or wherever, it comes down to your mindset. And I always look at the mindset as a garden. Imagine you have a garden. So it is what you plant inside of it. With the mind, it's not a thing of where you get to say, oh, I've planted this, I can get rid of it. No. Once the seed has been dropped in that garden, which is the mind, it begins to grow.
No, absolutely. So, which if you allow negativity to be dropped in
Exactly.
that garden, it's going to
It
grow.
starts growing. Exactly.
Because some people just feel that, wow, let me just do my shift, let me just do my thing. They never see beyond. Now, you've mentioned something with our next discussion, which is about setbacks. Now, and I know that people that want to watch this program over and over again. And I want to ask Ms. Annette, share with us at the early stage of your business, what were those challenges that you faced that you think, wow, this challenging? Because the truth is, as an entrepreneur, there will be challenges, the things that you have to face. There'll be no day will be the same. It'll be days are going to be different. There'll be time that things are going to be good. There'll be things that are not going to be good. So what we want to discuss the challenges that you face, that people are likely to face at the early stage when they start business.
Find is I started this running business, and I've there've been a lot of ups and downs, and these ups and downs you find I had to make a choice for whatever is, because some of them you'd find they're negative, like what Charity was saying. And so it's just through, people who are surrounding you, who be saying, trying to prove you to say, well, you shouldn't have done, you shouldn't have started it anyway. See where you are now. You are having more problems with it. But
yeah.
So it's now those things people who are around you as well, sometimes the problem to you, as much as you have got a lot of which you are going through, but as a business, you should know that all those ups and downs, that makes you stronger, and at the same time you learn from them. So you say, oh, because I'm having these challenges, how am I going to do this? But those stronger, and at the same time you learn a lot from them. So even also end up knowing whom to share, to share with, those share with others. Oh, that's why we're telling you that you shouldn't be going into business, as we are going to work with, you see, and that you now also know which friends to pick up when you are discussing anything to do with the business. So I think it's more of to be encouraged, to say, you know what, I've started this, and I'll never, the Lord is going to allow whatever challenges are there, I'm going to learn from them. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for that. So it's about making the choice and having the understanding that every challenge is a learning process. Every challenge is. And the more you learn, the more you will learn, the better we become.
Yeah.
I've learned that. we never become better without challenges.
No.
and I think challenges is a learning curve, and it helps us to grow and become better. Am I right, Ms. Annette?
Yes. Make us grow, challenges, because there's no way you can have a business which doesn't have challenge. Somehow you have the ups and downs there, within the business. That's how we learn. And we should also, accept those, because if we are not going to face any challenges, then we'll never grow, and we'll never learn. Yeah.
Wow. So I love that. The other point I learned from what you said is about the people you are surrounded with.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with that going to discourage you, they will say, well, after all, we told you not to start. Now that you've started, see what you're going through. So, and I think it comes down to having the right networking, the right set of people around you. I remember when we had the networking that Charity spoke at during in October, and when I heard different people speaking, different people with different stories of how they started, it was very inspiring. And I think one of the ways to overcome challenges is to surround yourself with good people, good and experienced people that will motivate you, people that will encourage you, people that share the same vision as you. Well, there's no way you are having a vision of £1 million and you are having a meeting, a discussion with somebody who has no vision at all. It's like you have a vision that I want to do a business of £1 million, and they are going nowhere whatsoever. It's like two different people, isn't it? The people, they're comfortable in their comfort zone. Some people are trying to break away from their comfort zone, because comfort zone is easy. Just wake up in the morning, get benefits, go back to your house, they feed you and they control you, they tell you what to do. Easy, easy, easy. So if you are going to fulfill your vision and ambition, you need to have great people around you. You need to have good
Mm.
people that will motivate you. And that's one thing that prompted me into this networking, which I know that God is going to help me every 3 months, so that you have great set of people that when you hear their story, like you hear a charity story, you hear Miss Annette's story, you hear other people's story, that you know that it is possible. And if it's possible, if they can do it, then I can do it too. So it's important in life to be surrounded by people who have done it. They've been there, they've done it, they have a track record. There are people I try to avoid. And I share this with you. The people I try to avoid. There are people that always say, I wanted to,
Mm.
I plan to, I was good. No, 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 no. If I ever speak to anybody and the first sentence is, I wanted to, when we were about to go up to start the church, I was an old man in the last church we served. And this is what he said to me. And today I held that word. He said, try to avoid people where you're going, because we came from London, right, to Luton to start a church. We live in Happenden to start a church in Luton. And he said to me, try to avoid people who will tell you we wanted to, we were going to do it. Because they have negative stories. Mr. Net, you have met people who wanted to, wait, before you started, they would have told you how they wanted to do the care business and how it failed.
Yeah.
If you have met
Yeah.
people who will tell you how we wanted to do when we came to this country, or we came here 20 years
Mm.
ago, we planned, you would have been discouraged. I
Yeah.
think it's very important to surround ourselves with
Yeah.
great people who have done it, who have a track record. Am I right, Ms. Ennett?
Yes. Oh, letting you won't have any referrals. Whom do you know? Do you have connections? Always have people who discourage you, and some of them, they've done it, they've failed, but I would say maybe rest that we are where we are today, because people who would be saying, "Oh, me, I've been in the business, or maybe before, and I only have got so many clients, things like that." And when you look back, it's just by grace.
Absolutely.
That's why it's because it's just grace.
Grace.
Yeah.
Just grace. I love that one.
Yeah.
Cherish, I'm going to bring you in here now. So, in terms of the networking, the people you are surrounded with, how important is that to someone's progress in business?
There's a saying that goes, tell me who you are and I'll tell you who your friends are.
Yes.
So people you associate yourself with
With
matters. It's like
absolutely.
you reading a book. So
Yes.
when you read a book, what happens? You're rubbing your mind with that of the author when
Yes.
you read a book. So when you're listening to people who are feeding you with negativity, what are you doing? You're rubbing off them. Of their negativity is rubbing off on you.
Absolutely.
So people that you associate yourself with, it matters. It's always good to associate yourself with people that would actually lift you up and you
Right.
can lift them up. Because I believe one thing is that if I'm in your life, I'm there for a reason. I'm there
Yes.
for a purpose. So if someone is in your life, that person is in your life for a reason and for a purpose. And the purpose can fall into these categories, either in a negative way or in a
Yes.
positive way.
Yes.
So it's always important that when you're associating yourself, you associate yourself with people who can actually think and reason like you, people who
Yes.
can actually see the best in you, even when you can't see it. Because when I remember when I first started the business, people were like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? You're a graduate, you've got this, you've got that. Why are you, going on social media and advertising and talking about this and talking about that?" But these same people are the same people who turn around and say, "Oh, we've seen you grow from when you started to who you are today." So it's about the fact that when you associate yourself with people who have the same kind of mind, people who kind of think the same and you reason the same, and you know they might not be perfect, but you know what, they can see that good in you, they can see the best in you, they can help you, to bring out that god-given talent that has been hidden inside of you. And I think that's what networking is all about, you know
Exactly.
and I'm looking forward to this event on Friday. Hopefully I will be able to make it. So it's a case of, associate yourself with people that can bring the best in you, or that you can even as well bring the best in them and help them to grow together. It goes both ways.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Charity. Now, let's talk about the award. I am so looking forward to that. And for those who are in the broadcast of December, which is in 4 days' time, on 16 December 2022, is the Global Authors and the Business Award. What great things happening in the new year is now going to be rebranded. We are rebranding the brand. So it's going to be now Global Business and the Authors. Now, why is it changed? I'm going to venture into helping businesses to actually write their books, and not only write the books, also starting a coaching business, because what the experience you have had, we can help you to translate that experience into a book. Now, how does that happen? Now, people are thinking, "Oh wow, I can't write a book." No, you do not need to write any book. But you don't need to sit down for hours. We will do all the work for you. What we just do is to interview you and discuss with you on how to bring your knowledge and experience into book, and convert that book into coaching. So, Miss Annette, are you ready for 2023? Becoming an author, right? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, because all these experiences, we need to convert them into book and then coaching. Because there are thousands of people in UK, in Ghana, in Zimbabwe, that your
Mm,
story will change their life forever.
yeah.
So your story, yes. Charity, are you ready? So
Yeah.
your story will change their life forever. So we're going to help you to translate your knowledge, your experience into a book. And then the next networking event is on the 31st of March 2023. 31st of March 2023. So coming back to the award, no, I am so excited about this award because it's a celebration of ordinary people, moving into extraordinary.
Mm.
So it's about just ordinary people who are just who are just ordinary, and they've made extraordinary things out of themselves. So how are you feeling for Friday, Miss Ine?
It's going to be a great, meeting, and I would like to uh, thank you for this. Um,
Yes.
and I'm really grateful, and I just want to thank the Lord, to be a part of this award, to be part of the award, and I'm looking forward to it. I've quite a number for to come, and I've got also my business partner as well, who is going
Wow.
to be there, who is going to be present, and some of my in the UK, they are also going to attend. So we are really looking forward to that, and that's my sisters, my children, and my
Wow.
grandchildren as well who
Wow.
are attending.
Listen, wow, Mr. Nate, you are
Yeah.
blessed. You are so blessed. About this, the Bible says a righteous man leaves an inheritance for his children. Inheritance, what inheritance
Amen.
is that things that you've done, the track record, that they can
Yeah.
see that wow, if mom can do this, if grandma can do this, wow, I shouldn't settle for less. I
Mm.
shouldn't settle for less. So Charity, how are you feeling for Friday? I know you say you have some other commitments, but it's your day. I want you to be there. I honestly want you to be there on that stage and receiving the award. Now the award will be is being today. I spoke to the factory.
Mhm.
It's been done, and then Miss Annette, you are receiving two separate awards. My goodness me! Wow, wow, wow. So, Charity, tell me, how do you feel for your award on Friday? You've done the hard work.
I'm excited for it because it's something that I've worked hard for.
Yes.
It's the year has been
Mm.
it has been amazing. It has been good. I've got nothing to complain. So it's just looking forward to brighter days and brighter 2023. So yeah,
Fantastic,
that's just it.
fantastic.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the networking on Friday. Hopefully, I believe I should be there by the grace of God. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
So I'm looking
And
forward to it.
it's also a reminder of your journey, isn't it? To see,
Yeah, it
wow,
is.
the
It
journey.
is.
Now, let me ask Miss Nene, how long roughly have you been in business overall? How long roughly would you
Ooh.
say?
Um, eh, um, when I was back home, that was a long time ago.
Wow,
Still, working as an accountant, I used to buying and selling, and at one time I used to export. That's the spreads, for the Buttercup too. I used to do that part time.
right.
Then when I came here to England, I wasn't in business at all. I was just working as an accountant until now, changed my whole career and went the care business, which is now coming up to 5 years now here, but in
Wow,
Ghana it's just 2 years.
wow, wow. So you've had that journey, that incredible journey, transition from an accountant to now only running the care business.
Yeah.
That is extraordinary. But many people are always very scared because the most scary thing is, you know, what you know
Mm.
is venturing into the unknown. Now, the accounting, it's about figures, right? Put the figures together. It has to, the balance sheet has to balance, right? If it
Yeah.
doesn't, something's happening. But transition from that into running a care business is a huge responsibility. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yes, very different. It's very totally different because when it comes to accounting, a 1 plus 1 is a 2. It will never change.
So, yes,
Then
yes,
when it comes business, it's very different, and
yes.
sometimes the challenge experience there, you just need God's grace and God's guidance on your own.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
Wow, wow. So if I ask you, so now on Friday, we're coming for the award. I invited friends and family. We all coming to celebrate with you, take pictures with you, and I know you're feeling so excited. That standing on the stage, I received the award, and then it's going to be very emotional because by the time you come to that stage, and everyone, your friends and family, comes around to stand with you.
Yeah.
Are you imagining that? Are you imagining that?
I know it's going to be a very emotional uh, situation for me, because you would find it, even, you know, when we started this company, my daughter, say, you know, 3 months down the line, she died.
Wow.
Without her. So it's going to be very emotional. She left me 2 grandsons, you know, who are, you know, who are going to be present as well. So you just wish if she was present. So you'd find the Epilepsy Foundation. It's something which she had started, although she had only started a charity.
Right.
And so yes, it's something which is really touching, but you know, we just thank God, you know, for everything. Say, you know, and sometimes we go through challenges because the Lord allows them, because He wants to be closer to Him, because you always think if you everything is positive.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
I love that. You know, I've learned so much in this the recording and this interview, and I'm looking forward to working with you actually on different levels, because one of the things that we'll be doing next year is, you know, I will work with you to make sure you write your book. Definitely. I will definitely work with you to make sure that you write your books, you have your books and your coaching business. We're going to work with you in terms of the name to call the coaching business, and how to help other women as well, both in the UK, in Ghana, in Zimbabwe. One of the things I'll do next year, I will travel quite a lot next year, so to helping people in writing the book. So we could honestly finish the event. We're going to set the ball rolling on your book. So by March, you have your book written and launch your book at the event as well. That will be another great milestone as well, isn't it? So
yeah, thank you.
So, yeah, because we love to share a story. We love to see people coming who are doing extraordinary thing in the country. They've been able to turn their lives around. They've written this story. They've faced the challenges, and they've actually proved that it is possible. Okay, that it is possible. So those are things that we're going to work. I'm going to work with you next year, and also venture into other property, like Dr. Daniel said, which we do properties as well, and in charity. So these are kind of things that we'll be looking at to see what, because once you build your brand, you can also extend the brand as well. You know, extending the brand to build other things as well. So and the charity is open. So these are things that we're going to be helping you with, and I'll be very happy to be involved in that, to support you, to make sure that we bring all these dreams and plans into reality, and also we can actually coach and train other people as well. So do you have any kind of, if you're going to start a training, what sort of training would you have on mind? And if you're going to write a book, what would that book be? And I'm going to ask Charity as well. So Charity, if you're going to write a book, what would that book be? Yes.
Maybe I probably would start with my story.
Okay.
Because I believe that every single one of us we have what I would call an invisible what's that word I'm looking for now?
I know you share during the networking, is it, don't you?
Yeah, it's not all health challenges that people go through that are visible, that are physically visible to people. So there are people that have health challenges that are so invisible that people don't get to see it, and every day we such people tend to struggle with it, and it affects their mental health.
Yes.
And if it's not if people are not given the opportunity to be able to speak out, and the fact that you have to live in fear of what would people say, or what would people think about me if I
Tell
would it
them.
would it change their perspective, or would it change the way they see me as a person? And living in fear of, okay, nobody understands what
Mm.
I'm going through, because people are not ready to give you that opportunity for them to actually understand what you are actually going through, because
Mm.
of the fact that that health challenge that you are going through, it's not a physical one that can
Right.
actually be seen. If someone is disabled, if I'm physically disabled, people would
Mm.
know, oh, she's on a wheelchair. So
Absolutely.
it becomes visible. Then they become mindful of how they treat me, or how they behave to me. But
Yes.
if that person has got an invisible health challenge that cannot be seen,
Yes.
and how do you now see that person? Do you still give that person the same regard or the same
Mm.
preference that you give to someone who is on a wheelchair, that you can actually physically see what that person is going through?
Yes.
So for me, if I'm going to ever write a book, it would have to be with my story and the challenges I had to face at a very young age, growing with that invisible health challenge that people don't see, but already they already have a picture of who you are in their mind about you, because of what you're going through, and not bothering or even wondering to see how is this person
Wow.
feeling, what exactly, because when you go through that health challenge, that it's not visible, not only with my own case, it
Yes.
could be any other health challenge. Like Annette talked about her daughter who passed on because of
Yes.
epilepsy and all that.
Mm.
That's another health challenge that it's not visible. That's
Mm.
another health challenge that somebody, because you're already going through it, that mental trauma that person
Mm.
is going through, the constant thinking of, is it going to happen?
Mm.
Would I really experience this in the public? What
Right.
if it happens?
Mm.
It's there. So that person already is going through that emotional drainage, if I should
Yes.
use that word,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and then for the fact that you now have somebody who, not knowing you or understanding what you're going through, have already made up their mind about you. When they look at you, they see, oh, this person is so unmotivated. This person
Yes.
is lazy. They kind of already made up their mind
Mm.
how to, what kind of category or what kind of person you are, without getting to know exactly
Mm.
what you're going through. Because with what I have, with what I have experienced, being a narcoleptic person, is similar to someone who is epileptic as well. Because when it comes to narcolepsy, it could be, you could have what you call narcolepsy with cataplexy, where that person gets weakness of the
Mm.
muscles
Yes.
and things like that. So it's not so when you get to see someone going through it, immediately you are looking at that person in a different kind of way, rather than trying to find a way you can actually help that person.
Okay. Awesome. Oh,
Okay,
good.
so for me, that's what it's going to be.
So it'd be more of your life story and how to help people.
Yeah.
About how not to judge a book by its cover.
Thank you.
And when you see people are going through some trauma on some unseen circumstances, at least to think twice before you make judgment. There was a story I heard about there was a boy and a woman on the train station in the UK, and the boy was very restless. So it's about, don't judge people too quickly. and and this boy was very restless, very restless on online, and the woman was very depressed, and everybody was looking at this woman as, look at your child being restless. Can you not control the child? To the extent that it got the state where someone eventually actually had to speak to the lady woman and say, well, look at your son. And the woman said, do you know that boy? That he just lost his dad in the hospital, and that's why. And so until you actually get to speak to people,
Exactly.
until you understand, you actually get to speak to them. Because if you look at them from a distance, you are going to be making the wrong judgment. Until you actually speak to them and see what is going through their mind, and you don't just make a judgment. Otherwise, you'll be judging them prematurely. So thank you, Charity. I'll be very pleased to work with you on that. Ms. Annette as well. We're going to work on your book as well and your coaching. Now,
Yeah.
Charity already have a coaching business, so we're gonna be working together and all of that to make sure that becomes a big business as well. So I want to say a big thank you to two of you. I know Dr. Daniel has got for another meeting, so thank you for coming tonight. So, what will be your last advice? So people who are going to be watching, they say,
I
listen,
can see you don't want us to go tonight.
what's your last advice for people? They say life is not just a bed of roses, and Rome is not built in a day. Okay,
Exactly.
let me start with Charity. What will be your last advice?
Life is a process.
Yes.
You know, the journey of life is a process, and because it's a process, you just have to learn to trust that process. In that journey that you're going to be going through, are there going to be times that you feel like nothing is happening?
Mm.
But for me, what has kept me going is my belief and my trust in God. So I would say to you out there, if whatever life your life journey might be, it might be a thing where you might need to sit down and ask yourself, is there a God factor in what I am doing? And if there's no God factor in it, then get him involved.
Wow. Thank you so much, Church, for that last
Okay,
word.
so that's what I've got to say.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Is that to bring God into the plan, because that's the ultimate. That for Christians, I think it makes sense to us. For the unbelievers, it doesn't make sense. But for us, is to bring God factor into the business. Bible says, commit your way to the Lord and trust also in Him. So I think that's really a big. Thank you so much, Charlie, for that last closing statement. And Mr. Next.
I would say in whatever they are doing, business challenges, and whenever you want to start anything, I would say the favorite business book which we have is the if you study the Bible with a view of to extract a pin, set up and manage a business effectively, you'll be absolutely amazed everything. And also our people that failure is necessary for any learning curve. Makes you stronger, bolder, and less scared. That's all what I would want to say for now.
Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Emmett, for your time. I know it's been nearly 2 hours, although we didn't have all that nominees on there. We have almost 30, but because of people's commitment and all that. So thank you so much for your time. I wish you well, and I look forward to welcoming you on Friday. As you know that there's snow just when you're driving. Just drive safely and hopefully on your way. But everything is set for you and your guest. And I think I'm going to speak to you tomorrow as well on other things as well. So thank you so much for coming tonight. Please do enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So viewers, thank you so much for staying tuned. We have now come to the end of the journey to greatness. As I was interviewing Dr. Danny Moses, who started his property business on the back of the loss of almost £150,000. This could be something that could have in that could have caused other people to commit suicide, to start a business and lose money. Is it's not something that everyone wants to go, it's not experience anyone wants to go through, but it's just to say that in life there will be challenges in life, but that does not mean you should commit suicide. But those who might be going through one thing or the other in business, maybe you've lost your job, you've lost your homes, you've lost your finance, you've lost your income, or life has not been favorable in the meantime. One thing I want you to learn from these amazing people is the fact that they have faced challenges. Every great business that you see on this planet Earth are people who have faced challenges. Challenges are not there in the word of Dr. Daniel Moses. The challenges, not all storms are there to destroy. Some storms are there to take you out of your comfort zone. So it's not all storms. It's not all storms that are there to kill. Some storms are there to steer you in the right direction. So if you're in business, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're an author, in whatever areas you function, you need to understand that life is not a bed of roses, as they say. So in those moments when your back is against the wall, the wall, you must find that strength to rise again. It's not just enough to fall. What matters is it doesn't matter how many times a man falls, is to find that strength to rise up again, because life itself is a journey. So as a business owners, entrepreneurs, author, speakers, coach, you must understand that there will always be challenges in life. There will always be ups and downs. And listen, even though you are at the peak of your business, the one particular peak is the beginning of another journey. So the journey is an ending journey. While you finish one task, you move to another level. So while you have built one particular business, then you must be willing to look further to build another business. And in business and in life, life is a lesson and life is a journey. So as we continue in this journey, there would be challenges. We must settle that at the back of our minds that there will always be challenges. But what we must be aware of is that we must always find the ability to deal with those challenges. And also, you've also heard from Miss Annette as well, how she managed to build, how she managed to transition from being an accountant to becoming a business owner who was running a care job, a care business in the UK, and she has managed to actually build that business successfully herself. And now she runs a business, a mining business in Africa. So these people have challenges and they've overcome those challenges. And today, on the 16th of December, we are going to be celebrating our success story. So for all of you who are watching, I will encourage you to subscribe to this channel, the Global Authors and Business. If you have not subscribed before, subscribe to the channels. This channel, I try to bring great business people onto the channel who will share the journey to greatness. The reason behind that is so that you can learn that it is possible, that your journey is possible, your story is possible. You can start your business with what you have. I've always said this before. You don't need to have millions to start. All it needs is the desire to start. You don't need millions of pounds or millions of dollars to start a business. All it needs is the desire to start. The desire to start and the ability to understand that the business or life is a journey. So having the desire to start and the ability to endure. So endurance, changing mindset, work on your mindset, work on yourself, have a vision, have a dream. What is your vision for 2023 as a business owner? And my name is Philip Oladejo, and I'm the director of the the Global Authors and Business Award UK. And I am a coach. I'm a transformational coach and a business coach. One of the things I do in my coaching session is to let you see that you can become what you determine to become. You can become what you determine to become. We deal with we deal with transition, giving you the opportunity to look at yourself and where you are, and using what we call an analysis of where you are, where you need to be, and the strategy to get in there. So I want to encourage you to get in touch with me. If you're a business owner, you are an author, you want to write your book, I have a team of people who are willing and waiting to support you to transfer your story into a book. How do we do that? We have a meeting, a consultation with you, and then we sign a contract on what we're going to do for you, and so you understand exactly what to expect, and then we work with you, and so you begin to we begin to have a meeting with you, and then we convert your conversation into a book. Not just writing a book, we also coach you on how to use your book as a coaching materials as well. So not only do you just write books, you also become a coach, which I will be personally be willing to help you to help you to build a business from your book. So it's not just enough to have a book, it's about what you use your book for. So I will guide you through building a business, a coaching business, writing a books, and not just writing a books, on how to use your book effectively. So I am Philip Oladejo, the director of the Global Authors Club and Business Award the UK. And if you are in the UK and you want to attend one of my networking events, the next one is on the 31st of March 2023, and you can connect with me on my LinkedIn page at Philip Oladejo. You can send me a direct message, and I will do my best to get in touch with you. And also, if you're a business owner and you think that your business deserves an award, get in touch with me. I will have an initial consultation with you and see what we can do for your business. And one of the benefits of the award is that it actually consolidates, it boosts your credibility, number one. Number two, it helps you to rebrand your image, to project your image as an award-winning business. And the benefit to your customer is they are guaranteed that they are being served by a professional and experienced and award-winning organization. So again, do join me this time again next month, January, when I'll be interviewing some of my students on their journey to greatness as well. So thank you for staying tuned, and I hope to see you sometimes again. So subscribe to our channels if you haven't done so, comment on the channels, and if you need one-on-one consultation with your business, I'll be there to support you. I'll be there to help you. Again, I remain Philip Oladejo, the director of the Global Authors Club and Business Award UK. And for the 2022 is the Global Authors Award in the UK, happening on the 16th of December 2022 at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel in London. If you still want to attend, I still have few tickets as a guest. So send me a direct message and I will be able to reserve those tickets for you. So until I come your way again, thank you and stay tuned. Thank you.